Hi everyone, and welcome back to our next series of Healthy Body and Healthy Mind Talks. And today we're fortunate enough to be joined by Elizabeth Haddad. Elizabeth has over 27 years experience as a Brahma Kumaris, Raja Yoga meditation teacher, as well as being a student. And she's a dedicated parent, as well as her background being in IT, business and education studies. Welcome, Elizabeth. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me.
Thank you. And where are you joining us from? We were having a chat earlier and I saw your beautiful scenic backdrop, not now, but to the side.
Right. Yeah, not this backdrop. I am in Laguna Beach and Laguna Beach, California. Maybe I can show you just the backdrop, but the lighting is not good. So this is the
Oh, wow.
ocean
That's
view.
beautiful.
So gives the serenity that one needs to sometimes to maintain sanity when looking at the peaceful ocean.
Yeah. So it's great to have you with us. And I wanted to ask you if you can give us just a brief introduction into kind of how you're involved with the Brahma Kumaris organization. I know they're worldwide, but you're part of the Los Angeles University group there.
Yeah, stationed in Los Angeles, but we are a global organization, and especially with the lockdown, now we are in touch with everybody around the world. On Zoom classes and conversations and meditation practices with the UK, with India, with New York, San Francisco, just name it. The whole world has become one. And Los Angeles is one of them, but then there is the rest of the world too.
Mm. And I think you wanted to kickstart our talk with a 3-minute or so meditation commentary.
Right. I thought one of the things that we do in our practice is, even when we are having meetings, we have a minute of silence. In the middle of the meeting, we take a minute of silence in order to regroup our thoughts, to bring everything back into essence, rather than all the expansions that happens in the mind, and end it with meditation, or minute of silence, or 2 minutes of silence. And meditation, and just because we are doing it now together as a new thing, I thought maybe we will play a meditation commentary with some visuals. So what you can do is look at the video, or just close your eyes and listen to it, because guided meditation brings our attention into what matters, rather than just thinking all over the place. Mm. So why don't we start our talk with a little bit of reflection together.
Okay.
The power of being lies in its simplicity. Let me just relax and center myself in the awareness that I am pure light existing within the physical dimension. Let me imagine that I am like a beautiful sparkling star, suspended on an enormous realm of matter. I am weightless. I am light. I am peace. And I relax and settle into this peace. And I find that that peace of mind begins to soothe even the muscles of this body. Sometimes I stay so focused in the world of doing that I forget the power of just being. This simple exercise of just sensing the soul within and creating that awareness that I am light and that I am peace. This exercise has the power to make me feel more creative, more clear about solutions, more colorful, more alive, and yet it's so simple. All I have to do is make time each day to enter into that beautiful dimension of spiritual awareness. All I have to do is rest in peace and simply exist like the trees exist, like the clouds exist. Let me practice the art of being, and I will find inside that there are beautiful qualities: love, joy, wisdom. And when I dive deeply into these qualities, I begin to experience them so naturally that it's easy to carry them into the world of action, into sound, into movement, into my responsibilities. This simple practice of being brings beautiful colors to my daily life.
That was absolutely beautiful and very calming. Thank you for sharing.
Welcome.
Thank you. So moving forward, obviously we're all experiencing some uncertainty within a kind of change to the normality of our routines, with COVID-19 taking over and most of us experiencing lockdown in some way. How do you think we can incorporate more of these moments where we can kind of control our minds or control our bodies and keep that positive spirit alive? Because there's a lot going on and we're kind of not sure how things are going to unfold. What would be some suggestions from you?
I have seen two scenarios during the lockdown with people. I have seen people who have become busier and become very active, very creative, taking advantage of this lockdown to do various things that they haven't done for years. Mm-hmm. And then I have seen people who are just helping the stock price of, for example, Netflix to go up by sitting and watching constantly, you know, all this shows and streams, you know, that they're broadcasting, and the time is just being spent watching and eating, and feeling down and hopeless. You know, when we are inactive and we're not doing much, naturally we do begin to feel hopeless. We do begin to feel tired, and even negative, or down. You know, I saw this beautiful video clip by a actor that he was sitting outside his home and he was sharing his feelings at how he's feeling down these days during the lockdown. But then now look at the other side. Today I received a text message from a friend who is in a lockdown in India. She was in February traveling in India, and then the traveling stopped, and still she's there. It's May now. But I received her complete series of her meditation commentaries that she ended up recording there. She ended up meeting some people and using the recording studio, and the quality is wonderful and the series is wonderful. And she has used her time while she was in a lockdown, while she was not in her home base. She does not have many clothes, you know, to change. Very limited. She is in a limited setting, but she created masterpiece, which I asked her if I can use it and post it on our Los Angeles website, and she agreed to do that. So what is it that we need to do? What I'm noticing that because of the lockdown, we have so many opportunities. Zoom has provided this opportunity. Skype has provided this opportunity. FaceTimes, you know, and of course, joining so many different programs and different talks and different presenters, learning from them, learning things in YouTube. You know, YouTube is teaching, for example, some editing tools. I don't know, some programming tools, some dance moves. So just taking advantage of the time to not necessarily do, but if we want to do, let us do things that are positive, productive. So I feel uplifted and I feel happy and I feel like I am not only contributing to myself, but contributing to people around me and to the world.
Yes, and I've seen a lot, because we're quite fortunate that because people are on lockdown, they are tapping into learning more and then advertising and promoting what they do on all social media and all the different avenues you've already mentioned. So it's a good time for us to take advantage of those. But unfortunately, a lot of people are experiencing mental health this week in the UK. I don't know if it's the same in the US. We are kind of promoting Mental Health Awareness Week, where a lot of people are facing challenges with mental health. And I guess the situation we're in doesn't really help if you're not already in the right frame of mind. So how can we kind of tap into those people so that it's almost promoting a schedule, a sense of purpose, that they have something to do, whether it's exercise, cooking. Cooking has exploded during the lockdown, and more people, because restaurants, cafes, delivery services are closed down, they have to start cooking for themselves. How do you think a routine and a schedule can help people kind of manage their time more effectively during this time?
Well, talking about mental health, one of the things that I have learned, because, you know, I've been on this spiritual path for now over 28 years. And I remember every year I used to go for a retreat back to the headquarters in Mount Abu, Rajasthan in India. And the head of the organization, who she just passed away back in February, she was there, and I said to her, I have a lot of anxieties, and I feel very tense and I feel very anxious. And she said to me, come back in the evening and I'll address your anxiety. I come back and in the evening, and she gives me a piece of paper, and on the paper it has all these different points about how to what causes anxiety. and the root cause of the anxiety, which also anxiety comes from a lot of the mental activities that goes on, is from the waste thoughts. The root cause is the waste thought. So what kind of waste thoughts am I having? You know, when we are in the lockdown and we are alone, we end up having a lot of thoughts. And we end up thinking that, you know, oh, they are busy and they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm not doing anything. I'm useless. I'm a loser and this and that. So many different thoughts come to mind. So if you notice, when we started the meditation, and the meditation was talking about the power of being, and the being has that power and can experience peace. The being is peace. We need to start changing our perspective, our way of thinking, from negative to positive. But it is all a choice, and it is all a decision that we have to make. And what is our intention? Do I want to stay unhappy and to stay weak and hopeless or miserable? Or do I want to feel perked up, happy, light, carefree, completely carefree? Yes, there are so many things that are happening, so many things stopped. You know, the paycheck has stopped. The interactions have stopped. I know a friend who she is working from home, and she is feeling very down, even though she's very busy, because she said, I'm a people person and I like to work in the office with so many people around me, because in between we are always having a lot of interesting chats. Now I don't have it. No. So she's not happy, even though she has work, even though her paycheck hasn't stopped. But you see, the thing is that we end up getting caught in our waste thoughts. And that lesson that she gave me, you know, that Daddy Janki, who she was the head of the organization, she told me that the root cause of all the problems that we have, the mental problems that we have, the anxieties that we experience, is waste thoughts. So I need to start clearing my mind, cleaning my mind, before I even make schedules, because even like that friend who is very busy, I can still feel down and unhappy by being by myself. We take care of, nowadays a lot of people are, as you said, you know, the cooking has boomed because we cannot get food from outside. We're getting food, we have to learn how to make food. We're checking things on YouTube, on Facebook, on, I don't know, on TikTok. In so many ways we're learning how to make a quick dish. And a lot of people are also very health conscious. You know, they're having their green juice, and they have their smoothies, and they have their jogging and this and that. So if we're paying attention, we're making time to take care of the body, why aren't we making time to take care of the mind? Because the mind is something that is with me 24/7. I can go for a jog and feel good for a little bit, but then my mind is still with me.
You still have to come back.
It's with you, you know, and you have to hear all that chatter. It's sort of like I was saying, you know, yesterday we had a class, and I was sharing that sometimes our mind is like a hotel with many rooms, and there are so many people have occupied each room, and they are very active too. So my job at this point is to learn a way to vacate the hotel so I can take rest and not answer all those chatters that is going on inside each room of that hotel. Clean up the hotel. You know, I have a friend who during the lockdown, finally she got rid of, as she said, 56 boxes of stuff that was in her garage.
Wow.
And she cleaned up her garage beautifully. And she said in the process, she learned to let go.
Mm.
She said she feels light, she feels accomplished, she feels happy, and that not only the garage is clean, but that her mind is not hanging on to this picture, this memory, this piece of arty craft. She said, I got rid of them and I knew how to distribute them to different places because I had the time. I did not have any job. I didn't have an income for the past 2 months. I am hurting a little bit, but I'm also feeling accomplished.
Mm. So she decluttered her mind and her physical assets.
Very much, because part of the reason that we do also have clutter is because we are holding on to things, and we're always thinking in the back of our mind, should I or should I not let go of this thing? Maybe I will use it one day. Maybe one day it will become useful. Maybe I can give it to somebody who needs it someday.
Mm.
But if my space is empty, then I can think clearly. There is nothing to hold on to, and I can see clearly because there is clarity because of that clearing.
Mm. And this brings me on to my next topic I want to briefly talk to you about is about food. So because I know you, we're both plant-based now and have been for some time. And I think having followed a plant-based diet for a number of years now, it's helped with mental clarity as well as serving the body in so many positive ways. How have you found that following the plant-based diet has had a positive impact to you, both mentally and physically, and in what ways?
Well, in our practice, one of the requirements is to watch what you eat and to become vegetarian. But within that vegetarian diet, definitely like to stay away from meat and fish and the sea creatures, as well as eggs. And also it asks us to not to have onion and garlic in the diet for various reasons. But so that was my vegetarian diet. And for years, people were telling me, you should become vegan. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I am away from, the animal products and animal-based ingredients. And I'm fine, but I have been addicted to many things in the dairy form, to the yogurt, to cheese, and milk, butter. Lots of food that was made with butter, and I had no idea that my body was rejecting it and was reacting to it. I had no idea. I just thought I'm just tired. But then, I eat this delicious pizza, cheese pizza, and then I get so sleepy, like I had a bottle of wine. I have yogurt, and it's like somebody punched me in my face and I fall asleep. So the thing is that I learned, I saw this documentary on Netflix called What the Health. Somebody told me to watch it. Actually, many people told me to watch it, and I wasn't. And then one day I was doing a lot of manual work, some like packing things or whatever. And I said, I cannot watch a movie now because it's I have to focus on the movie, and I don't need to focus. So I'm going to watch a documentary. And I said, okay, let me watch this. And as I was watching, so many things in it was beginning to make sense, to the point that I had to put everything aside and really focus on what I'm listening to. And one of the, because I did and I do have a tendency to get to my autoimmune disorder, but I did have it before very strongly. And one thing that I heard in the documentary was that cheese is the main cause of autoimmune disorder, or one of the main causes. And I started thinking, oh my God, I love cheese, and I'm totally addicted to cheese. And then they started talking about how cheese is addictive and what are the ingredients in it that causes the same pleasure. It taps into the same pleasure center, in the brain as cocaine does, but on a lower dose. So I was like, that's something to explore now. And I started staying away from all of this, sort of like advanced my diet, and started listening to the body, listening to why is this body feeling lazy, feeling tired, feeling weak, feeling sleepy, feeling, out of order. With the vegan or plant-based approach and style of eating, what I realized is the energy has increased. My day is full, and even if I don't eat for let's say 6-7 hours, I don't get as shaky and as weak as I used to get when I was on even a vegetarian diet. My aim is to maybe next step in the advancement to explore fresh food and raw food diet, but until then, this is right now, it's very important because in many ways, I'm also contributing to the environment. I'm also contributing to the animal kingdom because they are not treated gently. They're not treated with love, with care. And I don't want to contribute to that. I myself don't want to contribute. But as I said, there are so many benefits. There's so many reasons that one can observe that approach, that it's worth doing it. It's worth at least exploring it and experimenting with it. And if you want to experiment, I ask you to do it in 1 month. And then after that, go back to your habit, to your old habit, and see how your body is responding and reacting. I did that, for example, with eggs. I eliminated from my diet. Then after 1 month, I introduced it to my body. I love, that soft boiled egg. And I boiled it. It was nice and soft, put a nice salt and pepper and take a spoon. And my head was pounding. And for 2 days, I was so sick and I had such a severe headache. I went to the bedroom and then I started feeling nauseous and I threw up. The body was reacting. But I did not believe that it was the egg. I said, it must have been a coincidence. Something must have happened to me. Maybe some virus went in. So I let it go, stayed away for a week, just cleared up and got rid of my headache. Took the egg again, same result. And I realized that, oh my God, all these times that I used to buy things, with eggs in it, and I used to have this pounding headache, and then I get the headache, and then I take my headache pill, and then I rest, and then I get up and I eat the same thing. So the body is constantly struggling, trying to get rid of things, and we don't pay attention to the signals.
So I think that's the other thing where people don't see how much processed food includes so many ingredients that is overly processed and the body just can't handle. Right. And that's why when we kind of start to re-look at our diet and, even if you're a meat eater, just trying to dabble in a day or two, meat-free Mondays, just try to eat vegan, plant-based, and just see how kind of your body starts to change, and how you feel and the mental clarity. And I always recommend my clients that they look at everything they buy. If you don't understand an ingredient, you don't know what it means, just don't touch it. And eat whole as possible, whole foods, so that you have the lentils, the pulses, you know, the beans, the fruits and vegetables in their natural state. And it's, you know, it's amazing. It's like a miracle of what you can create with these ingredients. Have you found that?
Exactly. And one thing I noticed is even if I don't understand the ingredient and I'm still feeling pulled to buy this product, you have your phone with you now. You know, check the product, check the ingredients when you're at the store, and look at the definition of that. What is the technical term that they use, you know, or the scientific term that they use? Check and see what it is and what it does to the body. We checked things, you know, like for example, the ingredients in the vegan burger, you know, and there were some ingredients in them that was saying that in the animal lab, it proved that it causes cancer. So they're not saying that you're going to get cancer, but it does cause cancer. So then the intellect is thinking and is saying that, well, you know, why do I need to take this? Well, it smells good, but does it do good to the body? And on top of that, you know, one time I learned from one young man, actually, he was a fitness instructor, and he was talking about diet, and he said, everything that is on the shelf or in the package or in the freezer or fridge or whatever has preservatives. And he said, what do you think that preservative is for? It's to preserve the food for a long time, to elongate the life shelf, shelf life, of the food, right? And he said, but when you put it in your body, what do you think it's still doing? It's still trying to preserve, even in the body. So your body and everything in the, you know, all the factory workers in the body are all trying to figure out, what the heck is this? What is this? What do we do with this? And that's why the body starts not working properly, because they don't know how to break down the preservative. And I was like, wow, what can we think about this? That, you know, we are putting this preservative in our mouth and in our body. And what does it do? So that's why it's better to cook yourself. It's better to team up with friends, you know, and one day you cook, one day I cook, one day he cooks, one day she cooks. That's why you have a show called Come Dine With Me. Create a Come Dine With Me for yourselves, you know, and share your skills and resources. And if you don't have the skills, learn, because this is what you're doing for the betterment and for the well-being of your own body and mind. Because when the body is tired, the mind is tired too. And we need to make the mind rested enough so it will be able to cope with situations like what we are in now, and to not see the half empty in the glass, but to see the half full, to see the benefits that this situation is providing. Right now, when your mind is cluttered, you cannot see benefit. You see overwhelmment. I'm overwhelmed with what's happening. And we want to get rid of the overwhelming feeling and get clarity. Food helps. Food helps a lot.
So coming back to you getting creative in your kitchen, what's kind of one of your favorite dishes or some ingredients that you love to include when you cook dishes?
Honestly, I don't like cooking. I'm not a kitchen person. So that's why I like this stuff that I get, receive, that are easy to make. For example, when I prepare tofu, I marinate it with certain sauces, put it in the oven, and then saute some collard. You chop some collards, with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of nutritional yeast.
Mm-hmm.
Do marinate some, not marinate, saute some Brussels sprout with, again, a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and lemon juice or lime juice, you know. And so you have your tofu that acts as your protein, you know, you have your vegetables. But, you know, I just want to just emphasize on the fact that don't worry about protein deficiency. Absolutely, there is no protein deficiency in being a plant-based, you know, having a plant-based diet. Because of my autoimmune disorder, you know, I had to do a blood test every 4 months. And every time that the doctor saw my blood results, the one thing that she kept continuously being impressed was how my protein count is very good. She said, I don't know where you get your protein from, because I have mostly vegetables, but you have no protein deficiency. She was very impressed. And I kept telling her, why are you impressed? It doesn't take much to know that there is protein in vegetables too. And the one thing that I learned from that documentary is that we keep talking about protein in cows or, you know, in animals, but the fact is that they get their protein from nature. So we're actually having a second-hand protein. We can have a first-hand protein. There is even protein in lettuce. There's protein in tomatoes. There's protein in watermelon.
Because I think that's one of the main concerns of people wanting to go vegan or plant-based.
Right.
The lack of protein, and where are they going to get it from? And obviously, as you've said, vegetables are quite good in protein. You know, beans are whole protein within themselves. Exactly. Quinoa, all the whole grains. And I think we shouldn't really stop something like that getting in the way of us making that transition, when we know it's for the good of ourselves, our body, mind, for the environment, for the animals, from climate change. And there's so many positives in making that move that it kind of outweighs why we would still stay, you know, having the meats and the fishes and the dairy. And as you mentioned before, one of the instigators for you was the animal welfare and how they're mistreated in order for us to have a few minutes satisfaction of something that doesn't serve us well.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why, just for us to know that we don't really have that kind of a deficiency. And if we do, it's because we're not eating properly. You know, a lot of people become vegetarian and they only eat salad.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They think vegetarian means only salad. I remember I went to a restaurant and I said, you know, I'm vegetarian. I cannot order this and that. Can you bring me some salad? And he brought me a whole lettuce, you know, the head of lettuce. And I was like, what do you want me to do with this? I said, well, this is what we can offer for you. But they could not think any further than that. So they gave me
very fortunate. Yeah, we're very fortunate that nowadays more and more people are recognizing a plant-based diet. So the offerings are massive. Right. So whether, you know, you go to the supermarket, you can have ready-made foods, or you go to the restaurants. But coming back to ready-made foods, I think a lot of vegans' first downfall is when they do turn plant-based and vegan, they kind of go crazy on all the ready-made foods, whether it's cakes, desserts, you know, ready-made foods that you can put in the oven, microwave. And it's about understanding that it's not nutritionally beneficial to you. So that's why it's important to understand, you know, different dishes you can cook, different nutritional values, and start getting creative in the kitchen.
I agree. You know, I was checking with someone, one practitioner, health practitioner. I said, why is it that when I have even the vegan cheese, I feel tired? Could it be my brain is thinking that this is a regular cheese and is responding the same way as when I was having a regular cheese. He said, no, but if you think about it, even with the vegan cheese, you're eating a processed food. And when you're having a processed food, your body is working very hard trying to figure it out, trying to break it down and try to eliminate it, you know, and extract the nutrition from it in order to send it to different parts of the body. So your body is reacting because your body right now is not able to process processed food. So one thing we need to pay attention to is how much processed food we're having, vegan or non-vegan, how much packaged food we are having, frozen food we are having. And of course, if you do have a frozen food and you put it in the microwave, that is not at all healthy, nutritious food at all, you know, because I have this high school student that did this experiment with water, and they had put a pot of water and boiled it on a stove, gas stove, and then they dropped a seed in it to see when it will germinate, you know, or start sprouting. After 2 days in a boiled water by the gas stove, it started sprouting. Then they boiled the water on an electric stove, and after 1 week, it started sprouting. The strength of the molecules of that water was reduced, but still it was working. And then they boiled water through the microwave, and they dropped the seed. Not only it didn't sprout for the 2 weeks that they were waiting for it, but at the end of the second week, around the seed was all molded. That water is dead.
Wow, yeah.
The molecules of that water, because it's a microwave, you know, going from in to out, it kills every molecule in the water. So what we are taking into our body is dead food, dead matter, whatever it is. So we need to watch how we are putting things in our body and what impact it has on us.
Yeah. So I'm conscious of our time, and it's, you know, we can go on forever. So what's kind of your final thought on living out the next few weeks with kind of building in a healthy body, healthy mind being?
So in closing, I like to just recommend that ask yourself this question. You might be giving a lot of time to different things, even to sitting and watching, binge watching a whole series. But how much time do you give to yourself? How much time do you give valuable time to yourself and take care of yourself? Taking care of yourself means taking care of your body, taking care of your health, taking time to learn about what ingredients would work best for your body, and how are you taking care of your mind? Because if the mind is negative, if the mind is wasteful, if the mind is overloaded, anxious, nervous, in fear, then I am only working with negative and dark energy. What choices am I making throughout the day? It's all up to you. I sent beautiful classes and meditation classes to this friend and this friend, literally. This one, she has flourished tremendously, and she's now telling me how to think and what to say, and sometimes I say something wrong, she corrects me and she uplifts me. And this one doesn't watch anything, doesn't want to learn anything, and therefore is always complaining about the lockdown. And complaining about how miserable he is. Choices. Because even the classes are coming to you. People are sending things to you. All you have to do is open, listen, and think about it and bring about change into your life.
Yeah, just take a few minutes out for yourself.
For yourself.
And
Even
I
longer
think,
than a few minutes.
And I
But
think we're so caught up in always doing and being active that it doesn't feel natural to just simply be, be in the moment and just take time, not to do anything, not to think about anything. And like we started with at the beginning of our talk, just those 3 minutes, there's so much out there on YouTube. And when we finish, I'm going to put some links of the talks of Brahma Kumaris and the guided meditation, just to take time for yourself. Your mind needs it, your body needs it, and it's gonna conclude in a positive way, and then hopefully you're charged and clearer about the direction you want the day to go, the week, your life. So the impact in a positive way is huge.
Very huge. And one thing that we need to also remember is that no matter how powerful we can become spiritually and mentally, we need to also physically move the body. There is a book called that Sitting Kills and Moving Heals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important for us not to sit or lay down on a couch for a long period of time. My yoga teacher keeps telling me every 20 minutes, get up and sit down, because when you get up, you're going against the gravity, and you're making your heart move. You're making your heart pump. So we need to keep moving and keep treating this body. Think of this body as your first and primary home for the soul. And we need to keep this home clean. We need to keep this home respected. And look at your home where you are at, whether you're in one room, whether you're in a car, whether you're in a mansion. It doesn't matter. How do you maintain that? How do you maintain this home? And how do you maintain this mind of yours, this hotel?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time today. And I'll share all your links and resources when we publish our talk. And it's been very valuable for me listening and hearing all these messages again. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you for giving me this time.
You're very welcome, and we'll speak again soon.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.